They've told us that we had 25 days left to this fuel shortage crisis. I've heard that there's no more diesel. I've heard that there's fuel shortage crises, and our gasoline's gonna go up to $10 a gallon. What you guys need is a real report, what you can expect in the next month. Because the diesel shortage, the diesel crisis is real, but it's not always what they're cracking it up to be. There will be locations that go bone dry. Diesel prices and fuel prices will get unbelievable, because the honest reality is there is a perfect storm brewing and it's about to unfold. So I'm going to explain how this is going to affect you so that you can be better prepared. Welcome back to all of our subscribers, and thank you for watching our videos. If you guys are brand new here, like news that affects you, emergency preparedness how-tos, and prepping tips weekly, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. You guys have seen all the diesel buzz, the fuel shortage buzz out there. What you want to know is how much diesel is left. That's what you're wondering. You want to know what's happening and about this perfect storm that's brewing, that's about ready to unfold. Things are not looking good. So in this video, we're going to go over some key points, some of the big factors, the stuff that you need to know. That way you better understand the situation and you know what to expect in the coming weeks. Because the truth is, are we going to run out of diesel? Not anytime soon. Are things going to get worse for us? Yep. So one of the biggest things that you guys have noticed is our diesel reserves are at the lowest point they have been since 1951. This alone is resulting in a lot higher prices with the diesel. In fact, right where I'm at, so just to show you, diesel prices right here, $6.08. Right, so diesel prices in this area are definitely above $6 a gallon. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are seeing for diesel prices, gasoline prices, the state or local area that you're in. And of course, if you've seen stations shut down, no diesel, no gas, because there is definitely some areas that are experiencing that right now. So like I said, the perfect storm is brewing, and one of the things that is affecting this, as we're already experiencing high prices and a supply issue, it is likely to get tighter as the European Union enacts embargoes on the Russian crude and products starting in December. Folks, that's just right around the corner. What this is going to do is increase the global competition for U.S. diesel supplies. In the EIA monthly report, they said that if the price continues to go up, it's going to create demand destruction. That's right. The system cannot handle it going too much higher. What will happen is no one will be able to afford to buy product, so they will just stop buying. Did you guys know that according to the US Census all the way back in 2017, that the data said that 71.6% or 10.4 trillion of the 14.5 trillion of the value of all goods shipped in the United States were hauled by trucks, and rail makes up a lot of the rest. And guess what powers all of that delivery? Diesel. So a very huge concern is that these high prices are a huge factor to inflation. The prices continually going up. So Sheila Forsch, managing director for the Wyoming Trucking Association, said fuel costs were always second to labor costs in the industry. The annual survey by the American Transportation Research Institute usually showed the top concern for the industry was labor. This year, for the first time in the past 5 years, fuel costs rose to the top in a labor market where companies are paying top dollar just to fill positions. And that right there says a lot. So as you can see, this is a very big concern for carriers. So what these industry professionals are saying, they're doing the best they can. And the one thing that they can do right now to keep things afloat is by putting out a fuel surcharge. It's the only way that they can make it and still make money to get the merchandise out there. So with the EIA's figures that diesel prices are about $1.60 more than last year, on average, the guys that are actually out there doing the work say that when you're buying 10,000 gallons of fuel per load, 10 cents makes a big difference. And yes, at 10,000 gallons per load, that is a big difference. Another issue that fuel haulers are having is the employment issue. A labor issue is also driving up the costs. In the report, it also said Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration regulations limit the amount of hours drivers can work in a day. So sometimes when the truckers line up to buy fuel, they have to wait hours just to find out that there is none left in some cases. So with that in mind, they can't just sit for hours at another refinery and wait because their time allotted for working is up. What's going on right now is there's a perfect storm brewing between having a driver shortage and not enough qualified drivers, along with having to chase after fuel, going other places and waiting in line there as well, all to find out that that place is low or they've got to go somewhere else to get fuel. And the prices of diesel skyrocketing, making it really hard for the companies to make any money with them having to put out surcharges now. Keep in mind, with no solution in sight, and we're going to get to that, it gets worse. On a Fox Business report, they reported that Chris Shelton is a driver for Lightning Logistics. He said that his company added an extra charge for fuel that lowered his expenses, and it is the only thing keeping food on his family's table. In quotes, it says, "It makes it harder and harder to budget yourself out each week," Shelton said. And then Adam Wright owns Lightning Logistics and says that they're doing whatever they can to keep the drivers afloat. They are seriously struggling with this right now. Diesel is hitting record premiums over gas and oil. I know some of you guys are thinking, well, why doesn't OPEC just produce more oil? Well, in a report by OPEC, they warn the oil market faces considerable uncertainties. You know what? Producing more oil is the only foreseeable answer to this. And well, of course, we saw that during the elections. But now that the elections are over, that chance the current administration is going to call for more oil. So the chances of seeing us get helped out, not looking good. This is how Fox is putting it out there.
And also, this fuels inflation. Diesel goes into so many parts of the economy. Inflation hasn't peaked, not if these numbers say anything.
No, and this would be more of a nightmare if the election were not over, right? I mean, we talked about these issues leading into the election, and we saw the Biden administration make perfunctory gestures like releasing oil from the strategic reserves, anything that would look like they were taking action to protect the American people. But the election's done. And so does the Biden administration care anymore about these issues? Probably not. The only way we're going to increase our supply of all of these fuels, particularly diesel, is to produce more. And we are not producing more. OPEC is actually cutting production, and we're headed into the winter. So you're absolutely right. It's coming at the worst possible time. And the only solution is a production increase. But the Biden administration will not allow that. In fact, they'll probably make it harder now that the election is done.
But this is
they'll
also
make it harder.
Right. This is also a refining issue. What are they doing about refining?
Sure. Yeah, and we haven't had a new refinery built in decades. In fact, one refinery in the Gulf Coast last year tried to expand, and the Biden EPA denied their permit to expand refining. So, I mean, these are really serious issues, and all politicians, including Joe Biden, they like to talk about infrastructure and they like to talk about jobs. These are jobs problems. They're infrastructure problems. They're major economic problems that we just turned a blind eye to.
So you guys might be wondering, is this crisis gonna resolve? Well, honestly, you guys have been told all along, and I'll remind you here in a second, because they are destroying it. So you know where all the shutdowns and destruction is coming from. So should you expect the shortages to get any better? Big question you also might have is, will the price continually go up or will it come down? Well, let me remind you.
They've been pretty clear about their feelings on fossil fuels, and the closing message in the final week before the midterms, or final weeks, was this. Listen.
By 2035, that's all we're going to have in America. Electric cars being manufactured, not on the road, but being sold in new cars. That's President Biden's goal. By 2035, he wants the power sector of America to be carbon-free.
Up in Massachusetts about a month ago on the site of the largest old coal plant in America. Guess what? It cost them too much money. We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America. No more drilling. There is no more drilling.
There you go, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, that coal plant was such an important backdrop because this is what the Biden administration does. They shut down what works and they promise to bring wind and solar. Have the people of Massachusetts seen this wind farm be built yet? Right. So what are they doing in the Delta between shutting down a coal plant, which was functional, and waiting for these green jobs, this green economy to come online? And listen, when you hear John Kerry talk about going green and carbon neutral, He doesn't understand this industry whatsoever. He's just a political hack. It's like someone saying, hey, look, we're not going to have bread. We're going to use bagels instead. It's the same product.
Right.
Electric vehicles, wind, solar, they are all made from fossil fuels. We're not replacing fossil fuels. We're using them differently. That's not a win. It's just stupidity.
Now, I am for renewable energy. I am for solar power, wind power. I see the benefits to both sides. But the problem is everything is getting destroyed before we're even ready for that, before any of this is in place. And with solar energy, wind energy, the funny thing is all of these processes take fossil fuels to make it happen. So like I said, guys, the industry is getting ruined and there's no resolve in sight. We currently have a system who will be selling it to the highest bidder. And with Europe doing what they're doing in December, it's gonna make a bigger strain over there, which means we're gonna be shipping out our supplies even more than we have been, driving prices up, inflation up. For everything that we do, it's gonna cost it more to get to that end consumer. More surcharges will need to go into effect. So you thought inflation was bad? Well, prepare for it to get a lot worse. Are we gonna run out of diesel? Are we gonna run out of fuel? No, not anytime soon. Some places will see shortages like that, but not everywhere. The worst part about everything that I see in our foreseeable future is inflation to go up even more. So buckle your seatbelts for fuel shortages, meaning you might be sitting in a line, you might have to jump around to get filled up, and even more so, prepare for more inflation. As demand for diesel-driven energy, when it gets to the coldest months of the year, will also be driving up demand and cost. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps you out with understanding what's coming. Please share this video out so more people get the truth. Let me know down in the comments if you know something that I didn't mention that you want to let our community know. And again, thank you for watching Riverside Homestead Live. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.